leave it off. I'm going to come from a different angle. Just heard Kirsty there give a great talk from the heart, which is where they all speak from who are at the camps. My name's Peter. I've been in this country now 8 weeks after living here I lived here for 40 odd years and then migrated to Spain. While I was out in Spain, I got to know about fracking. Never really got involved in political things before, but it said something up here. I've got 5 kids, I've got 3 grandkids, and that's what it said. The kids and the grandkids. The grandkids aren't going to be old enough if this hits to speak up for themselves, so it needs their parents and the grandparents to start speaking now. Can anybody in here put their hand up and tell me that they have that wonderful gift of hindsight? Come on, you all look intelligent people. Has somebody got hindsight? No, I mean hindsight, sir. Hindsight. No? Now we've put people into government who are very clever people supposed to be to look after this country, and yet they're allowing fracking to go on. And yet they've got hindsight of what's been happening over the last few years in America, who started 6 years ago, and now after 5 or 6 years, seeing the damage that fracking does, where many states are trying to stop what was started. And yet, we as a government are going, let's go for it from day one. Yet we know what's going to happen. Isn't that hindsight? Like you say, sir, foresight, slightly different.
Well, sir, the piper calls a tune.
Pardon?
The piper calls a tune, and the piper is international big business.
So we need to stop that person. How do we stop it? By sending them a letter and saying, please don't do this. Send him an email, please don't do this. I'm sorry, Richard, I'm going to obviously contradict a couple of things, not contradict, but oppose some of the things you were saying. We write. How many letters do we get through the door each day? How many pieces of junk mail do we get through the door that we throw in the bin without even looking at it? We see a leaflet come through, quick glance, it's in the bin. Leaflet, clip in. Same with government. I'm being watched for time already, I wish it wasn't a stage. The only way that this industry has stopped so far are in 2 places. One was a well that was dug and they came across a grave and it had to be shut down because of consecrated ground and being a gravesite. The only other place that's actually stopped before anything started is Bentley in out in Australia. They stopped that by one thing and one thing only. That was people on the street stood in front of them. Direct action. As Ian said before, direct action made a change here, a massive change. And that's the only way. These people are sat in the street, sat along the ditches, as Kirsty said, for their own good. Yes, of course it's for their own good. It's also for the love of their families and what's going to come later. But it's also for you, because they don't, well, I know Kirsty lives locally, but a lot of them don't live locally. They've come from the south of England, the northwest of England, all to come and stop something to support the local people in East Riding, East Yorkshire. So they're asking in return, come and support us, we're doing it for you as well. We're not earning money, there's none of this at the end of it. We don't get anything. But they do need things to survive. They need food, they need water, they need provisions because there's not money there. And they also said, as she said jokingly, people are driving past going, get a job. When we moved back here, we're staying with an 85-year-old lady who's, in a way, an adopted mother-in-law. And she turned around and she said, get a job. I am not physically fit enough to go there and stop what's going on, but these people are doing it for me, so they're working for me. They've got a job, and what a job they're doing. They're doing it from here. And what they need is you to turn around and say, yeah, you're helping us out, thank you very much. How can you do that? Nip down to the camp, have a brew. We know people work. We know people have got kids and have to look after them at home. We know you can't necessarily go down there and stay 24/7 with them, but you can go down there, stop and have a brew, show them that you're happy for what they're doing and you're respecting what they're doing for you. And as she said, the only people that can stop this are not the writers, are the people who are prepared to stand up and direct action. So we put that call out to you to give us that support. So by all means carry on with the writing. It doesn't necessarily not do any good, but it doesn't do as much good as direct action. So please come along, help us out, and to end on a bit of a humour, you can now all start using the word arse again in this area because the judge says you can.